Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very special show that we have planned for you today. With me, as you can see, I am not alone. We have three lovely volunteers who have volunteered their time, their energy, their efforts in preparation and for the presentation of today's mock trial. Hopefully, this will be the first of many. But without further ado, I want to introduce each one individually. So, first and foremost, you know me, the DUI guy. I will be playing the role of the prosecutor. To my left, we have Viking Wolf by Blood. She is a channel member, and she is going to be playing the judge here today. Would you like to say a few words, Judge?
I am playing the judge. I expect you all to behave.
I don't know the meaning of the word.
I expect antics from you and everybody. But try not to make the gray streak here any more vivid, okay?
I think that is doable.
Okay.
Um, to my bottom left or bottom right, I suppose, for you all, I have Emery, who will be playing the defense attorney. Would you like to say
Yes,
a
I
few
will.
words, Emery?
Yeah, I'm Emery. I'll have some antics up my sleeve as well, and I'm very excited.
Awesome. And of course, right directly below me, we have Sam, and she is going to be playing all of our witnesses here today. You're muted, Sam, if you want to say something.
Yeah, I'm Sam. I'm playing the witnesses, and hopefully I have some antics up my sleeve too. We'll see.
I think it should be fun. I think we're all nervous. We're all excited. Some of us have experience. Some of us may not. I think it's going to be an enjoyable show for everybody. We have never done anything of this magnitude on my channel before, especially with channel members. As you know, mostly for the most part, streamers kind of stream with other streamers. So we're trying something brand new and exciting. And I love the fact that we have audience participation. So if you're interested in doing this in the future, by all means, feel free to send me an email. We already have a list of people, some of them who could not make it here today, but thankfully we're able to have enough volunteers to get this show on the road. So, without further ado, before we begin the trial itself, is there anything that we need to discuss?
Yes, actually.
Yes, ma'am.
So before we begin the trial, I'd actually like to move for a mistrial because on the 26th of December, the prosecuting attorney made a presentation to the potential jury pool where he actually read the transcript, of events that transpired aloud, and as he did so, he made comments throughout as to why he thought it was so obvious my client was guilty, thereby tainting the jury and depriving my client's right to a fair and impartial trial. And I do not think this trial should go forward at this time, at this venue, and before these jurors. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may respond to the argument.
Absolutely.
Today we are going to have a brand new pool of jurors. There was a very small and limited number of jurors that were available yesterday. Today we have a much larger pool with different individuals who are not privy to the reading of yesterday's reading of the transcript. And so we have an untainted jury, and I think the trial can move forward unabated, Your Honor.
I will agree to move forward, given that we have a larger pool, and I have no information regarding the transcript reading yesterday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is there anything else from the defense or the witnesses or the judge before we begin?
No, for me.
All right. So, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. My name is Larry, and I will be presenting the case to the jury this morning. Unlike the defense, I do not have any motions for Your Honor because I think that this case is very clear cut and straightforward. So if Your Honor would allow me, unless Your Honor has some preliminary matters that you would like to address, I would like to begin with my opening statement, please.
I have nothing. Please move forward.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
There's a fly in here.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please ignore the judge's fly as it has no bearing on the case. However, today you are going to be hearing some heinous acts committed by none other than the defendant that is seated right over there. And his name is Sam I Am. Now, Mr. Sam is a absolutely unapologetic creature, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. He is a individual with no scruples, lacking morals, and he has not even apologized for his behavior towards Guy M.I., who will be testifying before you here today. Mr. Guy M.I. was simply going about his business one day. He had no desire to have anybody mess with him, talk to him. He was simply trying to enjoy his day seated on his couch. And lo and behold, out of nowhere came Sam I Am, bearing absolutely unreasonable behavior. First, he began shoving food in Mr. Guy M.I.'s face, asking him if he would like to partake in a lunch or dinner or breakfast of green eggs and ham. Now, by itself, maybe that would not be so disturbing. I would imagine Guy M.I. would not have even brought these charges, and I wouldn't be prosecuting Mr. Sam I Am today. However, that is not all. Guy M.I. tried to leave the situation. He has left his chair and he walked away. And if that was the end of the story, we would not be sitting here today and I would not be bringing this case before you. Guy M.I. tried to exit the situation only to be ambushed in a absolutely stalkerish manner by Sam I Am. Sam I Am began following Mr. Guy M.I. He followed him and he continued to bombard him with the question of whether or not he will partake in the green eggs and ham. What's even more upsetting, if this is not upsetting you enough, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that is Sam I Am, after realizing that Guy M.I. is not willing to partake in the green eggs and ham in a house or in a box or with a fox or with a mouse or in a house, lo and behold, he put Guy M.I. on the front of his car and took him up a tree, thereby practically kidnapping the poor guy. Now, we are not bringing any kidnapping charges here today, ladies and gentlemen. That would be a felony. This is not what we are prosecuting Mr. Sam I Am here for today. the prosecution is bringing forward 2 charges. The first is stalking, and the second is harassment, both of which Sam I Am is clearly guilty of, as the evidence will show. The evidence will further show, after putting Guy Mi on his hood of his blue car and running Guy Mi up a tree, and Guy Mi continually trying to distance himself, telling Mr. Sam I Am, I am not interested in your green eggs and ham, sir. Please leave me alone. I would like to be left alone. What does Sam I Am do? He runs the car into a train and takes Guy Mi on a trip which he could not even escape from, continuing the harassing and stalking behavior. As the train continued down the tracks, and Guy Mi tries so feverishly to exit the situation, the poor man had nowhere to go. Sam I Am took advantage of the opportunity and continued the horrendous stalking and harassment and landed the train in a boat. Now, you will hear from the train conductor and the boat captain, respectively, about the horrendous acts that they have witnessed by Sam I Am and the suffering of Guy Mi. And whilst on the boat, again, Mr. Sam I Am just continued with the horrendous harassment and stalking of Mr. Guy Mi, to the point where they fell off the boat, and finally, Guy Mi, realizing there is absolutely no escape from the situation, experiencing borderline Stockholm Syndrome effects, has asked Mr. Sam I Am, would you please, for the love of all that is holy, to leave me alone, to leave me be? And Sam I Am continuously refusing. Guy Mi succumbed to the pressure and finally partook in the green eggs and ham, so that Sam I Am would cease the feverishly stalking and harassing behavior of Guy Mi, at which point Guy Mi was finally free for the moment. But of course, as you all know, we are here today because it is clear, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that that Sam I Am is guilty of 2 charges. The first is, and this is what the evidence will show, by the way, of 2 charges. And allow me to show you all what I mean. So charge 1 that is brought forth by the prosecution is stalking in the 4th degree. What is stalking in the 4th degree in New York City, where we are litigating this case? It is when a person is guilty of stalking the 4th degree, when he or she intentionally and for no legitimate purpose engages in a course of conduct directed at a specific person and knows or reasonably should know that such conduct, number 1, is either likely to cause reasonable fear of material harm to the physical health, safety, or property of such person, a member of such person's immediate family, or a third party, or 2, causes material harm to the mental or emotional health of such a person, where such conduct consists of following that person, and the actor was previously clearly informed to cease that conduct. Now, if that doesn't tell you exactly what this case is, I don't know what does. Charge 2 is harassment in the 2nd degree. A person is guilty of harassment in the 2nd degree when, with the intent, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that is the key magical language in this case here, because Sam I Am's conduct was intentional, as the evidence will show. With the intent to harass, annoy, or alarm another person, he or she follows that person in public place or places. If that is not the case here, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I don't know what is. Or number two, if you don't believe that, you can at least find he or she engages in the course of conduct or repeatedly commits acts which alarm or seriously annoy such other person and which serve no legitimate purpose. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you that Mr. Sam I Am is guilty of 4th degree stalking and 2nd degree harassment. And at the end of this trial, we will be asking each and every single one of you in something called a YouTube poll, which I'm not exactly sure what the heck that is, but we'll find out at the end of the trial. With a YouTube poll, you will be voting whether or not Sam I Am is guilty or not guilty of the 2 charges brought forth by the prosecution. And with that, I am convinced, ladies and gentlemen, that when this trial is over, you will find Sam I Am guilty of both charges. Thank you very much, Your Honor. I pass the case to the defense.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Jurors, my client is a defendant in this trial. He does not have to take the stand. He does not have to prove anything. The prosecution, on the other hand, has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my client is guilty of each of these elements of which he's been charged with. I submit to you that this is simply not possible. When we reach the end of this case, you will wonder why it was even brought to court. Today, you'll hear from the complaining witness, and you will conclude from his testimony that you cannot believe a word that comes out of his mouth. You will also have available to you a transcript of the events that occurred the day in question, and you'll be able to look at that evidence and compare it to what the prosecution needs to show, and you will see that they cannot, beyond a reasonable doubt, prove his case. Now, the first charge of stalking in the 4th degree states that the defendant knew that the course of conduct he was engaging in would cause reasonable fear or material harm to the physical health, safety, or property of the complaining witness, and that he did so intentionally. There's no such evidence that the defendant had any knowledge or intent that he was trying to create fear. He was trying to get him to take a bite of an egg. And at no point does the complaining witness express any fear or say he worries for his safety. He talks to him a lot, and he says many things, many verses and rhymes, and engages him in conversation, but not once does he tell him that he's afraid. And you will see from the transcript that in no time does he actually make an honest attempt to get away from Sam I Am. As for the second charge, harassment in the 2nd degree, states that a person is guilty of harassment with intent to harass, annoy, or alarm another person when they follow a person in or about a public space or places, and they engage in a course of conduct or repeatedly commit acts which alarm or seriously annoy the other person and which serve no legitimate purpose. While it's true that Sam I Am was following Guy Emery in public, there is no evidence that there was intent to harass, and that's the key word here, intent. And there is an abundant amount of evidence that it was for a legitimate purpose. He was trying to teach him a valuable lesson. You never know if something's good until you try it. That's all he was trying to do. Furthermore, you will hear from several witnesses that Guy made no attempt to seek out their aid when he was supposedly being harassed, instead opting to continue talking to Sam I Am. This is certainly enough to at least create a reasonable doubt as to the guilt of the defendant on any of these charges. And if you have any reasonable doubt at all, you have to find the defendant not guilty. And once again, note the defendant does not have to take the stand, and the prosecution cannot make them. So they will have to prove their case without him doing so. Ultimately, Guy Emery, in the end, voluntarily agreed to do what the defendant was asking. He tried the eggs. And he can't do that, then come into the courtroom and complain that he was harassed. Ultimately, there is no way my client can be found guilty given the evidence that you will see here today. So thank you very much, Your Honor.
So to make clear here, Mr. Prosecutor, you're
Yes, Your
seeking
Honor.
2 charges only.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm really very curious to see what each of you have to present, what the witnesses have to say, so we can then render a decision and a possible sentence. So without further ado, who will be going first?
Your Honor, the prosecution, since we have the burden of proof here in this case, as the defense so aptly put it, it is beyond a reasonable doubt, we would be going first.
All right. You may call your first witness.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. The defense calls Guy Emery to the witness stand.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Guy. I am. How are you?
I'm good. Excited to be here.
Okay. Are you ready to take the stand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you ready to be sworn in?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you solemnly swear that the information you give is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You may lower your hand. Mr. Prosecutor, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Judge Wolf. Good afternoon, Mr. Guy Emery. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
No, sorry. Can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
No problem at all, Mr. Guy Emery. It seems we're experiencing some technical difficulties here, Your Honor. And I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. These things will pop up from time to time, and please do not allow this to cloud your judgment in the bearing of this case. Mr. Guy Emery, can you hear me all right?
I can now.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. I was saying good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm excited to get some justice today.
So let us talk about that. Would you please tell these lovely ladies and gentlemen of the jury as to the events that transpired on the eve of January 1st, 1995? What exactly has happened on that day? What can you please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what your interaction with Sam I Am was like? What happened?
Well, I was just trying to mind my own business. I was reading. I was trying to enjoy my good book. And then this little pest comes in and would not stop telling me that I need to try his green eggs and ham. And I don't accept food from strangers. I don't know if it's poison. I don't even know if I like it. And I said no. And he would repeatedly, he would not stop. He said I needed to eat his green eggs and ham. So I tried to flee the situation, but he would not stop following me.
Okay, so let us talk about that, if you don't mind, Mr. Guy Emery. I would like to turn your attention to the transcript in this case, and I believe you have made the first attempt that you have made to get away from the situation was at in the very beginning when you were offered the green eggs and ham in the beginning. Is that correct?
Yes.
And where did you go?
I tried to get away from the situation because I did not want his green eggs and ham. And I told him that, and he wouldn't listen.
And what did Sam do as a result of you trying to get away from the situation?
He followed me and kept saying that I had to try his green eggs and ham.
Did he follow you into a house?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, there was just an innocent mouse in his house by himself, and next thing I know, Sam I Am is breaking into the house, and he wants me to come in and have a feast with him. But I'm not comfortable with these crimes, and I told him no, so I tried to walk away.
And what happened after that?
And he just followed me again.
And where did he follow you to this time?
Then he found a fox inside of a box, and he insisted that I go inside of the the box fox and eat the green eggs and ham with him. But again, I told him no.
And what did you do after that?
I tried to get away from the situation. I walked away again.
And what did Sam do as a result of that?
What?
And what did Sam do as a result of you trying to walk away? What was Sam doing as you continued to walk away from the fox in the box? Can you hear me all right, Guy? Am I?
Could you repeat the question?
Yes, absolutely. So after you tried to get away from the fox in the box, what did Sam do afterwards? Did he continue following you?
Oh yeah, and he pursued me with a vehicle. I tried to flee, and he gets into a car, and he just starts speeding after me. I didn't know what he was gonna do, if he still just wanted me to eat the green eggs and ham, or if he was angry at me and he wanted to hurt me for not eating the green eggs and ham. I had no idea in that situation. All I knew was a car was coming straight at me.
And what happened after you were involuntarily picked up by the car?
Then the car swept me up into a tree, and the tree was like super bendy and it was gonna fall, and I was in fear of my life the whole time. I didn't know what was happening.
And what happened after that?
And then the car, it plummeted into a train, a moving train. Somehow we landed on it, but we could have fallen off at any moment. It was terrifying. It was really scary.
After you landed on the train, did you have the ability to leave at any moment you desired? Mr. Guy, am I? Are you still with us?
Mr. Prosecutor, does your client need a short break?
Your Honor, we would request a short break if you don't mind. I think Guy Emery is experiencing some traumatic PTSD, it appears.
I can see that, so I'll go ahead and grant that, but let's make it quick.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much. Are you okay to proceed, Mr. Guy, am I?
Yeah, it keeps cutting out.
That is quite all right. No worries. Allow me to repeat the question. When you were on the train, yes?
Yes.
Did you feel that you had the ability to walk away from the situation at that moment?
No, the train was plummeting into a dark tunnel where there was nowhere for me to go.
And after the train, what happened on the train, first of all?
Well, he kept trying to pressure me to eat the green eggs and ham because he knew I had nowhere else to go, and he wouldn't stop pressuring me to eat them. And I kept telling him, I do not like them, Sam. I do not like green eggs and ham, and he wouldn't listen.
After the train, where did you all end up?
And then he plummeted into the sea, but luckily there was a boat that caught us. But now we're stranded in the middle of nowhere. I'm in a boat in the middle of the ocean, and he's continuing to pressure me to eat his green eggs and ham.
And what happened after you landed on the boat? And what happened after you landed on the boat? Mr. Guy, am I? What happened after you landed on the boat? Are we completely disconnected here, Mr. Guy? Am I?
I'm sorry. Can you
You're
repeat
quite all
that?
right. Yes. What happened after you landed on the boat?
Well, then we plummeted into the ocean, and the boat sunk, and I was trapped in the ocean, and I had nowhere to go.
And what did Sam do when you were trapped in the ocean?
He took it as an opportunity to try to feed me his green eggs and ham again. He saw me drowning, and instead of trying to help me out, he just keeps telling me I need to eat his green eggs and ham. Like, what is that going to do to help me out of this situation? Nothing.
And finally, Mr. Guy, am I? Did you end up trying the green eggs and ham?
I did.
Why did you do that, Mr. Guy, am I?
It was the only way to make it stop. I knew he would keep pursuing me night and day. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I wouldn't be able to do it. I needed to just put an end to it. And I pretended to like it even though I didn't. And I had to put an end. It was the only way. He wouldn't stop following me until I ate it.
No further questions of this witness, Your Honor. You are muted, Your Honor. Turn on your mic, Elaine, please.
My apologies. My name is not Elaine.
My apologies. I had some
We
flashbacks
will
to
not
some
go there again.
Johnny Depp trial I heard
prosecutor.
on the news one time. I apologize, Your Honor. This is an honest
No,
mistake on
we
my
had
part.
this conversation yesterday. You're not going to go there again.
My
No
apologies.
part of my
Your
name
Honor.
is Elaine.
I tried so hard.
Do you have any other witnesses?
Well, I believe the defense is entitled to cross-examination at this juncture, Your
Yes,
Honor.
but I want to make sure so you're not pulling anything after that Elaine comment. Will you have any other witnesses?
Oh, absolutely, Your Honor. I will
Okay.
be bringing additional witnesses. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then, defense, are you ready to cross?
I am. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
I apologize. My allergies are off the charts. Somebody let a cat out of a hat that's in my room, and there's hair everywhere.
It's rather
I apologize.
unfortunate.
I'm sorry to hear that, Your Honor.
That's okay. We'll make it through.
All right, Guy, am I? Is it? It's good to see you today. How are you?
Yes. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So let's get into it. Is it true that you told, just like you told us here today, you told Sam I Am that you do not like green eggs and ham?
Yes, I repeatedly told him that.
In fact, is the transcript open right now on the screen? Oh,
Yes,
there we go.
ma'am.
All right, so yeah, let's just look here. You said yes, you do not like green eggs and ham, but you told us here today you've never actually tried them, correct?
That's correct, but I just
That was a
look
lie.
at it.
But you
No,
said
I know the things I don't like. I don't like things that look like. I knew by looking.
Okay, you knew by looking, but you said that you did not like them, even though you didn't actually try them. But that's okay. Let's see. And if we go to the very end of the transcript, you say you do admit to actually liking them, correct?
I did say that, but the only reason I said that was to get him to leave me alone. It was
But
a lie. I
nonetheless-
did not like the green eggs and ham.
But nonetheless,
It was the only way to stop him.
Your Honor, if I may interject here, I would like to object. When my witness is answering a question, I would very much appreciate if the defense would not interrupt and allow my witness to answer the question fully before proceeding to the next question, please.
I will sustain that. Please allow the witness to answer the question in full before asking another one.
My apologies, Your Honor.
No problem.
So Yes. Then there was the fact that this did not actually cause harm to you in the end, did it? Physically.
Not physically. My tummy got a little hurt afterwards, but emotionally, I can't sleep anymore. I have nightmares. Everywhere that I look, I'm scared that there's gonna be a green egg and a ham. Like, it's been a nightmare. It's been horrible for me. My life has just not been the same since.
I'm sorry to hear that, Guy and I. But now, if we can, let us return to the transcript. And he first offers you the green eggs and ham. Now, he does so using some sort of contraption, is that correct?
Yes, they're pretty scary contraption, I might say.
But wouldn't you agree that this contraption allowed him to keep a reasonable distance from you and not get into your personal space?
I didn't know what the contraption was for. The contraption could have been a giant arm reaching over to like pull my head out. I don't know. It gave me fear seeing this giant hand coming at me. I didn't know he was just trying to give me green eggs and ham. At that point, it was scary.
You didn't know that he was trying to give you green eggs and ham, even though the contraption was holding a plate of green eggs and ham, and he was saying, "Do you like green eggs and ham?"
I never know anybody's true intentions. I don't know. I've never seen a machine like that. It's scary.
Okay.
Or he could have even had like a malfunction. It could have went too far and like hit me in the head. Like I just see something coming straight at me that I didn't want. My boundaries were stolen from me.
Okay. Thank you for that. And you said that you tried to get away from the situation, correct?
Correct.
And you walked away? That was your attempt to get out of a scary situation? You didn't think to run? You didn't think to maybe get help? Just a little stroll?
I walk pretty fast.
Okay, so you did a nice power walk to get away. Now...
Objection, Your Honor. That was not what the witness said.
Okay, apologies. Yes, you're right.
The jurors will strike that last comment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so again, let's see. Yes, moving on to the car. So let's talk about when you and Sam are in the car together. You don't say, "Stop this car, I want to get out." You're not saying, "Stop driving recklessly, you're making me scared." Are you saying any of that?
Objection, Your Honor. This line of questioning really hurts my case, and I would appreciate if that defense would stop.
Objection. I'm going to allow her to present her case just as you did and ask her line of questioning to form a foundation.
Thank you,
Please
Your
move
Honor.
on.
Thank you. So you didn't say any of those things, correct?
No, because I was my body was put into shock, and all I could think about was the fact that I was just hit by a moving car.
So your body was put into shock, but you were still able to recite these perfect rhymes when your body is in shock and communicate to him.
Yeah, that's what happens when your body goes into shock. At least for me, when I go into shock, I rhyme.
Okay,
that's normal. I don't.
And then let's look at when you finally say, "You let me be." This is the first time you've explicitly told Sam I Am to let you be, is it not?
Yes, but I did repeatedly also tell him that I didn't want his green eggs and ham, and he continued to follow me pursuing that same exact objective. But yes, I guess that was the first time that I said, "Let me be."
And by the time you said that, was it possible for him to let you be, considering you were in a moving vehicle together, stuck on top of a tree?
he should have not hit me with his car in the first place and got me stuck on the top of the tree.
All right. So, but you agree that at that point, it would have been physically impossible for him to let you be.
Yeah.
All
At
right.
that point, my life was already in like pretty mortal danger that there wasn't an easy way out, I'd say.
All right. Well, thank you. That's all the questions I have for you today.
Mr. Prosecutor, anything more?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may just very, very briefly redirect.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe, Mr. Guy and I, the prosecution has brought a couple of points that I would like to address before we let you go. First of all, I want to talk about I want to ask you about, rather, the contraption. This was the very, very first incident where you were offered the green eggs and ham with this so-called alleged contraption. Is that correct?
Correct.
That was not the only instance where you were asked whether or not you want the green eggs and ham, right?
Correct.
There were other instances that followed, and there were several, as we discussed on direct examination.
Yes, there were many other instances.
Next, the defense has brought a point with respect that the first time, allegedly, when you actually asked to be left alone was when you were on top of the tree. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes, I do.
When you say not in a car, you let me be. Do you remember that?
Yes.
But you also testified previously, please correct me if I'm wrong, that you tried to walk away from the situation just a few moments prior on several occasions. Is that correct?
Correct.
So this was the first time you verbally enunciated to Mr. Sam I Am that you would like to be left alone, correct?
Yeah, well, that was the first time it really crossed over where he just hit me with his car. Before I thought like me just telling him, I don't want your green eggs and ham and walking away would be good enough. But at that point, I knew he was serious. He was willing to hit me with his car. Like at that point, I knew I had to say something because he was not going to let me be otherwise. It became very apparent to me that at that moment.
So you tried to walk away from the situation previously, and that was unsuccessful.
Yeah, he hit me with his car when I tried to walk away.
Last but not least, the defense has made a point about the fact that at the end of the transcript, you do admit to actually liking green eggs and ham. That is a fact, is it not, Mr. Guy, am I?
It is.
However, and please correct me if I'm wrong, on direct examination, you have testified that you only partook in it to be left alone after being followed for quite some time.
Exactly.
Had you not been followed, would you have tried the green eggs and ham?
Absolutely never, ever. No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense, would you like to?
Yes, thank you. Let's see. I would actually like to bring up at the very end when you said in your first testimony for the prosecution that you were afraid that you were drowning, correct?
Yeah.
And that Sam I Am made no attempt to save you.
Yeah.
Well, if you look right here, it doesn't particularly look like you're drowning. Your arms are by your side, you're not flailing around, you're not making an attempt to get up. In fact, you're actively still engaging in conversation with Sam I Am while you say you are drowning. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Thank you. No further questions.
And if I may, just for the sake of the record, Your Honor, we are not bringing forth charges. I just want to remind the jury, we are not bringing forth charges of attempted murder and or kidnapping today. So just for clarification purposes.
Okay. And for clarification purposes, you're only bringing the 2 charges. You're not bringing multiple other what could be substantiated charges.
Correct, Your Honor. We are simply bringing forth charges of harassment in the 2nd degree and stalking in the 4th degree pursuant to New York law, Your Honor.
Okay.
May this witness be released, Your Honor? Has the defense any intention in calling this witness back to the witness stand? Because the prosecution has not.
No.
Then yes, Guy I Am, you may be released. Thank you very much for your time and your efforts.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You be well.
All right. Your Honor, at this time, the defense would like to call the train conductor to the witness stand. If we may have the bailiff call the train conductor from the hall back into the courtroom, please.
Is he available?
I believe the bailiff is getting the witness as we speak, Your Honor, if you give us just a few moments.
Okay, no problem.
In the meantime, would Your Honor object if the prosecution twiddles their thumbs?
Not at all. Twiddle away.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
I'm gonna twiddle away here too. While we're waiting. My time is valuable.
I apologize, Your Honor. I take full responsibility.
It's okay. Don't worry. Things happen,
As my thumbs are getting quite tired, actually. This is quite the exercise, I will say.
Well, then stop.
I cannot. Once I've started. Once you pop, you can't stop, I believe the phrase goes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put my game down if you stop twiddling your thumbs. No, I changed my mind. Let's wait for the witness, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm at a great place here, so.
I hope Your Honor is winning, much like I am, hopefully.
I always win. I do not like to lose. I'm very stubborn.
Well, maybe Your Honor should have been prosecuting this case.
That's a past life. I've moved on. I've done my fair share.
Let me check if our witness is ready. Is it the train conductor there, Mr. Bailiff? All right, the train conductor is ready. Your Honor, the defense calls the train conductor to the stand.
Okay, well, let me pause this.
Good afternoon, Mr. Train Conductor.
Good afternoon.
It appears your train has derailed. Are you able to testify in here today?
Oh, when I'm done with my shift at night, he comes home with me. He's my friend.
Okay, before we continue, I do need to swear you in.
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just making sure that my witness was all right. I was quite worried that we may have an accident in the courtroom today, and I want to do everything in my power to avoid that.
Does Thomas
Absolutely.
need to swear in too, or just me? Both of us?
Is Thomas an inanimate object or an actual person? Can Thomas speak?
Hey, Cranky, turn that frown upside down.
Can he say anything other than just that?
Harold, tally time. Can we say hello to Harold?
You saying hello to Harold?
Is that pertinent to? Okay, let's get you sworn in, and we'll move on. Damn guy. All right, train conductor. You swear that the testimony you're going to give is truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, you may lower your right hand. Mr. Prosecutor, feel free to move on.
Thank you very much, Anna. Mr. Train Conductor, if you don't mind, I would like to take you back to the events that transpired on January 1st, 1995. Do you recall an instance where a certain blue vehicle came in contact with your train?
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us about that? What did you witness?
Well, I was just driving my normal shift. I was driving along. I had a few passengers in the back, and all of a sudden, this blue car with 4 passengers just comes flying out of the sky and lands on top of my vehicle as it's still moving.
Well, that sounds terrifying. What do you recall happening next?
They stay on my train, and then they when I go into the tunnel, they're just staying there. They're standing on top of my train arguing with each other. I was hoping the tunnel might knock them out, but it's too tall of a tunnel. I don't know. They just keep arguing.
And what happened after you got into the tunnel?
Then it was pitch black, and it seems like the smaller of the two wanted to use that as an opportunity to force the other one to eat his food. He's like, "Oh, no one can see. It's the dark, so you can eat it now." And it felt very uncomfortable, and I don't know. And they just kept staying on top, and I could hear everything they're saying. They're just directly on top of me having this argument.
Was it safe for you at any point to stop the train?
Well, if I stopped the train, they would have made their car go flying, and I couldn't guarantee their safety.
So what did you choose to do as a result of that for their safety? Did the train continue moving forward, Mr. Train Conductor?
Yes.
And at some point, did you notice how another character has entered the situation?
Yeah, suddenly he brings out a goat and thinks that like the goat would make I don't know if he was trying to intimidate the other guy with this goat in his face. I don't know, but he's continuously holding this platter saying, "You must eat this, you must eat this." And he's just bringing over like these random animals as if that's going to help anything. And the poor guy just looks terrified in the back.
How did you know that the gentleman that was attempted to be force-fed was terrified? Did you get a good look at the situation yourself?
I got a few looks at him, and he just looked scared, and he looked like he did not want to be there. And he kept saying that he did not want to eat the green eggs and ham.
At some point, what happened to the train after you reached the end of the tracks?
Well, I did the only logical thing that you do at that point is, luckily there was a boat right there that I was able to make a safe landing in, but I drove into the ocean, into the boat, hoping that would save all of us.
as far as your knowledge is concerned, Mr. Train Conductor, after you got into the boat and you landed into the ocean, were you able to witness Mr. Sam I Am continue any type of course of conduct with the other gentleman?
And he was continuing to pressure the other gentleman to eat the green eggs and ham, and eventually the other guy ate it, but he didn't look very happy when he was eating it like he wanted to. It seemed like he just, I don't know, there was a very tense situation, and it finally ended once he ate the green eggs and ham, but it was very disturbing that they were doing that in the middle of the ocean.
And the one that was being force-fed the green eggs and ham, we of course are talking about Guy Emery. Is that correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Defense.
Thank you. Hello, train conductor. How are you?
Hello.
So yes, you said that.
Objection. The train is testifying, Your Honor.
Sustained. Conductor, can you please control your train? Seems to be more of a toy than anything else.
I object to that statement, Your Honor. That is
What?
a real train.
We're talking to the train conductor, not the train. And the train is very small. Trains
Yeah,
are
but
generally...
what would a train conductor be without their train?
But
Nothing.
I've given my ruling. Let's move on.
Objection. Size doesn't matter, Your Honor.
Size always matters.
Size is relative.
Always.
All
I
right.
apologize. The defense attorney, please continue with your questioning.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, train conductor, you said that the car landed on the roof of the train, correct?
Yes.
And you made no attempt to stop the vehicle despite there being a car on top of your train. Is that correct?
Well, I was afraid if I made too sudden of a stop that it would just like launch the other car off of my train, and I didn't want to hurt them.
And you thought it would be safer to just leave them on top of the train.
Yeah, they look pretty comfy up there.
Okay. And then you said that you were seeing all of these things happen, right? That you were seeing that he was afraid. You claim to have seen all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I ask you, how could you have seen all of it when you were driving the train, focusing on the road, your back was towards them, and they were on top of the car behind you?
I don't always focus on the road, you know. Sometimes I get like a few peeks. So I didn't get to witness the entirety of what he was doing, but I took a few minutes to look and check out what was happening.
And then you took a wrong turn, didn't you? And you went to an unfinished track that launched into the ocean.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the conductor clearly was not in the correct headspace to leave a moving car on top of the train.
Objection, Your Honor. The defense is making argument to the jury, and I would ask the court to have the defense refrain from making such statements until closing arguments, as doing them now is wholly inappropriate.
Correct.
Same.
Apologies. And just one final question. At any point, did Guy Emery attempt to seek out your aid?
No.
No further questions. Thank you.
Prosecutor, any redirect?
Just one question, Your Honor. During the time when the blue vehicle was on top of your train, would it have been a safe measure to abandon conducting the train and interfere with the situation?
No, that would have been very dangerous.
And why is that?
Well, if I left my seat as the conductor to go help, nobody's driving the train, and that's recipe for disaster.
And why is that? What would happen to the train if you were to abandon the caboose?
If I were to just cut off the caboose,
Would it cause a wreck? Would the train wreck potentially?
yeah, it could have caused some casualties. I figured like water is genuinely a lot safer than. So eventually, I helped lead them there. But if I were to just stop and they fell over on the pavement, that could have caused some serious injuries.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Defense, anything further?
No, that's all.
Thank you very
Thank
much, Mr. Train Conductor. I do not have any intention to recall the witness. I don't know about the defense, but the defense doesn't have any further questions or any need for this witness. I would ask the court to allow them to be let go.
Defense?
No further questions for this witness.
Train conductor, you're free to go. Thank you for your time.
All right, Your Honor. At this juncture, the prosecution would like to ask the court's bailiff to bring on the boat captain to the witness stand, please.
Okay.
Permission to continue the thumb twiddling exercise, Your Honor.
You can twiddle your thumbs. You can run them through your hair.
Thank
Do
you, Your
whatever you
Honor.
want.
That
You
is
can do it anywhere.
quite generous of you. I have actually never had a judge allow me to do that in their courtroom. This is a first for me, and I'm very grateful and honored for such a privilege.
Got the fly.
Did you really now? Oh, we have our dinner for tonight, don't we? Oh, I'm
I
not
don't know
supposed to
who
say that
we
we're having
is.
dinner tonight, do I? I apologize, Your Honor. We
I
are
did
not
not
having
invite you
dinner
to
tonight.
dinner.
That is correct. That is the correct answer.
Do not show up at my house because then you will be on that stand. How long are we thinking? So I can plan appropriately
How long of what, Your Honor?
for your next witness.
I believe we're just a few moments shy.
Okay. Well, you keep up with your hair and all.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe I overcombed it. It feels a little flat at the moment.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Other side. Other side.
Other side?
Yeah. There you
I
go.
may have a little cowlick over there. I haven't
You let
had
a
a chance
cow
to.
lick your head?
It was quite the morning today in my preparation for trial in the barn.
Evidently, if you let cows lick your head, do you live near a pasture or something?
I would like to plead the fifth, Your Honor.
Probably a good idea. And then we won't talk about cow licking anymore either.
I believe it is a felony in New York,
Again, we will not talk about the cow licking anymore.
and that's why.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Permission to leave the courtroom for 1 second and get a computer charger because my computer is about to die.
Please do.
Thank you very much.
Chop chop. See, we have a little bit of fumbling going on here today now, don't we?
Another day at the office for the prosecution, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I got a lunch date, so, you know.
We will try to get you out of here as quickly as possible for your lunch date, Your Honor.
It's flexible. It's good.
Is the defense all set, Mr.
Yes,
Emery? Ms. Emery, I apologize.
I am all set.
And how about your witness, Mr. Prosecutor?
I am about to check on that. Is the bailiff ready to call in Mr. Boat Captain All right, it appears that the boat captain has arrived into the courtroom. Your Honor, the defense calls the boat captain to the witness stand.
Okay. Good afternoon, boat captain.
Good afternoon.
I do need to swear you in. Do you testify that the statements you give are the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yep.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, you may lower your hand. Mr. Prosecutor, proceed, please.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Ms. Boat Captain, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to ask you some questions on the events that transpired on January 1st, 1995, when you were operating the boat. Were you operating the boat on that day?
Yes, I was.
And do you recall any type of train that made landing into your boat that day?
Yeah, well, it was actually a car on top of a train that landed into my boat.
Tell us about that. What do you remember?
Well, I'm just sailing, enjoying my nice sunny day, and all of a sudden, out of the sky comes these big beasts. I notice it's a train, and on top of a train is a car, and they smash into my boat and destroy everything.
When you say destroy everything, what happened to the boat?
My boat could not hold that many people and that many vehicles, so it sunk and everybody was in the water and it was a disaster.
Mr. Prosecutor, if I may, is your witness going to continue to play with the toy shark?
I apologize for that, Your Honor. My ears are old and I am hard of hearing. Is what now? What is the witness doing? I could not hear.
The toy shark that's making that clicking sound.
Mr. Boat Cap, or excuse me, Ms. Boat Captain, if you don't mind, would you please refrain from playing with the toy sharks during your testimony here today?
Sorry.
No, that's quite all right. I just want to make sure that our judge is happy. That is all. I personally do not.
I
Go ahead,
apologize. I
John.
want to make sure everybody hears everything aside from click, 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 click.
I mean, I personally don't mind. I love toy sharks, and what that one song I heard a long time ago, the "Baby Shark do 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 do" is one of my favorite songs. So just wanted to make the record clear.
We'll allow you to sing it after all is said and done, but for the time being, the clicking we need to eliminate.
Very, very much appreciated, Your Honor.
No
all right, Ms. Boat Captain, if you don't mind, could you please tell us after the train with the car with the passengers and the fox and the box and the goat and the mouse and Guy and I and Sam I am crashed into your boat, thus wrecking it, as you thus far testified, what happened to your boat?
My boat got destroyed.
And did it sink?
Yes, it sunk.
And after it sunk, did you have an opportunity to see the interaction between the two characters we now know are named Sam I Am and Guy Am I?
Yes, I saw Sam I Am with a tray of soggy green eggs and ham, and he was trying to force Guy Am I to eat it, and eventually he did.
What was Guy Am I's demeanor when Sam I Am asked if Guy Am I would partake in the green eggs and ham?
He looked just defeated. Like he had no fight left in him.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Defense?
Thank you. So yes, let's refer to this page of the transcript again. As you can see right here, you are observing this interaction between Sam I Am and Guy Am I, correct?
Correct.
And you would agree that that Guy Am is facing towards Sam I Am, not attempting to swim away from him as someone who might be afraid would do.
Yeah. But like I said, he seemed like he was just defeated and he had no fight left in him. He just submitted, he just gave up.
But he actively engaged.
He didn't appear to be enthusiastic.
He didn't appear to be enthusiastic, but that doesn't mean afraid for his life, does it?
Well, I guess not.
So just to be clear, you did not witness him attempt to swim away or get away from Sam I Am, did you?
No.
No further questions, thank you.
Prosecution, any redirect?
Just one question, Your Honor. With your own personal observations and your own personal knowledge, did you witness Sam I Am utter the words, "You do not like them, so you say, try them as you may, try them and you may, I say"? Did Sam I Am say or did not say those words to Guy Am I?
Yes, I did hear him say that.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect from the defense?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. After that very moment when he said, try them, you may, I say, you heard him agree to try them, didn't you?
Yes.
So he consented to trying them in front of you.
Yes.
Thank you, no further questions.
No follow-ups, Your Honor.
Can we release the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Boat captain, you may step down. Thank you for your time. You may resume with your shark.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Baby.
shark?
Oh, no, I apologize. I thought you were talking to me.
Shark lives matter too, you know.
Ain't that the truth? Thank you, Ms. Boat Captain.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses from the prosecution?
I believe that concludes the witnesses for the prosecution, Your Honor, and concludes the case for the prosecution.
Okay. Defense, do you have any witnesses to call?
I do not.
Okay. Are you both ready to give closing statements?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have promised you at the beginning of this case, and I have delivered exactly what I have promised. I told you in the beginning of this trial that Sam I Am is clearly, unequivocally, and beyond a reasonable doubt guilty of 2 charges. And allow us to go over what they are first and foremost. The charges were in New York Penal Codes, stalking in the 4th degree. A person is guilty of stalking in the 4th degree when he or she intentionally and for no legitimate purpose engage in a course of conduct directed at a specific person and knows or reasonably should know that such conduct does one of or two or both of the following. Number 1 is likely to cause reasonable fear of material harm to the physical health, safety, or property of such a person. Or 2, cause material harm to the mental or emotional health of such a person, where such conduct consists of following such person, and the actor was previously clearly informed to cease that conduct. Now, this is the relevant language of the stalking in the fourth degree statute. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, very importantly here, I submit to you that Sam I Am is guilty of stalking in the fourth degree because, number one, as the statute reads, he intentionally and for no legitimate purpose engaged in a course of conduct directed at Guy M.I., and Sam I Am knew and reasonably should have known that such conduct is going to cause Guy M.I. reasonable fear of material harm to the physical health, to his, physical health or safety. But if that is not enough for you all, you can still find him guilty on the number two, that Sam I Am caused material harm to the mental or emotional health of Guy M.I. because that conduct consisted of following him after Guy M.I. has repeatedly told Sam I Am that he does not wish to be followed and he wishes to be left alone. And how many times has that happened? In the very beginning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I apologize. Here we go. In the very beginning, there we go. We can do this. In the very beginning, the contraption. Let's start with a contraption. Sam I Am had created a magnificent contraption to allow him to physically encroach onto Guy M.I.'s space, as he has thus far testified, and to try and force Guy M.I. to partake in green eggs and ham. That was the first attempt. Now, that is not a crime, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to simply ask another individual, and the defense, I completely agree with. They so aptly put that the contraption even put a distance between the two individuals. That is not a crime. If the conduct, just as I said in the opening statements, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we wouldn't be sitting here today if that was the only course of conduct taken by Sam I Am. However, he took it a step further. After Guy M.I. has refused the green eggs and ham, and so very eloquently walked away from the situation, Sam I Am pursued him for the second time. This time, he was in a house with a mouse, requesting Guy M.I. whether or not he will partake in that same green eggs and ham that Guy M.I. has already made clear he does not wish to partake in. So he walked away for the second time. And now for a third time, Sam I Am has asked Guy M.I., would you like to partake in my green eggs and ham with this fox in a box? And once again, Guy M.I. said no and refused and walked away. For the fourth time, this time he brought in a motor vehicle, which he put Guy M.I. on the hood of his vehicle and carried him away to the top of the tree. Once again, Guy M.I. said, I do not wish to partake. That was number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5 was when they landed in a train. Again, Guy M.I. said, I will not partake. I will not have any of this. Number 6 was in the boat. And finally, after the boat sank and so many individuals could have potentially been harmed, none of which charges we are bringing forth today. We are not bringing forth attempted murder or kidnapping charges, even though we had full capability of doing so. However, we are not bringing those charges. We are only bringing forth charges of stalking and harassment, 2 of which he's clearly guilty of, because for the 7th time, Sam I Am has been asking Guy Am I, will you eat my green eggs and ham? And finally realizing there is no escape from this creature. There is no getting away from this Sam I Am character who will not relent, will not leave him alone until he finally succumbed to the pressure and said, yes, if you leave me alone, I will have your green eggs and ham. And so he did. And so he did. But that does not alleviate the crimes that Sam I Am has committed. So that is the first charge. The second charge that we brought forth today is harassment. A person is guilty of harassment in the second degree when with intent to harass. This is the magical language here, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We submit to you that Sam is guilty of this charge. So let's go over the second charge. A person is guilty of harassment in the second degree when with the intent to harass, annoy, or alarm another person, he or she follows the person in the public place or places. That is enough for a conviction. However, if you need more, there is more. Or he or she engages in the course of conduct or repeatedly commits acts which alarm or seriously annoy such other person and which serve no legitimate purpose. Now, what happened in this case? Mr. Sam I Am is clearly guilty of harassment in the second degree because with the intent to harass, annoy, and alarm Guy Am I, he followed Guy Am I in a public place. That is enough for a conviction. Did he follow Guy Am I in a public place? The answer is yes. And therefore, he's guilty. Or engage in the course of conduct or repeatedly committed acts which alarm or seriously annoy Guy Am I, in which exactly Sam I Am did. And if you find either one of these to be true, then he is guilty of harassment in the second degree. So once again, I believe this case could not have been more clear, and I could not imagine a scenario where this is not so as straightforward as it could be. Guy Am I is clearly a victim of repeated conduct, of stalking and harassment, and Sam I Am is guilty of both charges. Should you find him guilty, we will move on to the penalty phase, and you will get to decide what his punishment ought to be. Since we are not in the penalty phase yet, we do not have the opportunity to cover what that may be. And then we only get there if you do find him guilty. If you find him not guilty, that will conclude the end of the trial. However, I am firmly convinced that based on the evidence that has been presented today by Guy Am I, the boat captain, and the train conductor, the prosecution has proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt. There is no reasonable doubt in any of your all's minds that Mr. Sam I Am is guilty of harassment and stalking. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Mr. Prosecutor, you have been taking more theatrics classes with Mr. Rottenborn. You've improved on your delivery. No response needed. Defense, go ahead with your closing arguments.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jurors, you've heard all of the evidence. You know your job. You cannot convict if there is any reasonable doubt whatsoever as to my client's guilt. Now, again, let's start at the beginning with the device. Clearly, it was meant to keep a reasonable distance from Guy Emery, and it did. When Guy Emery left, he was continuously maintaining a conversation with Sam I Am. And he did that not only once, but every single time Sam I Am pursued him. He did not attempt to get away except for merely walking, and the whole time he engaged in conversation with him. That is not an honest attempt to get away. And then, as well as that, Guy Emery is claiming to have feared for his life. But can we really take anything he says seriously? He is a proven liar. Many times he said, "I do not like green eggs and ham," knowing full well he has never tried them. It was an out-and-out lie. Then at the end, he said that he liked the green eggs and ham with a smile on his face. But apparently that was a lie too. So can anything this man said be really taken seriously? Now, moving on to the train conductor, I submit that none of the testimony whatsoever against my client can be taken seriously, as the train director clearly was not in the right headspace to be judging anything. The train conductor did not stop the vehicle when a car landed on the roof, took a wrong turn, and drove off the tracks into the ocean. That is not someone who can be trusted to give proper testimony in court. In fact, he wasn't even looking at them, so he did not know, in all honesty, what truly happened. And yes, to the prosecution's point, Sam I Am was following Guy Emery in a public place, but he was once again engaging in conversation with him. Now, considering all of this, there was no fear communicated. Guy Emery communicated no fear, merely anger, merely telling him, "Please leave me alone," but no actual fear was communicated. And again, the prosecution here said that the magic word was intent to harass. He may have intended to offer him a meal, but by no means was he intending to harass him. Now, people of the jury, I urge you to consider all of this evidence and really ask yourself, beyond a reasonable doubt, is he guilty of harassment and stalking when he was simply just trying to offer him a meal? He did not say, "Go away," until it was too late and they were already on the train. And in the end, he admitted to liking them. So I urge you to find that my client is not guilty given all of the evidence, and the prosecution has not proven that my client is guilty. So thank you.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor. That concludes the argument for the prosecution, and I imagine, I imagine that concludes the argument for the defense.
Yes, it does.
All right. At this juncture, Your Honor, I would ask the court to allow the bailiff and the clerk, to poll the jury as to the charges.
I will allow that. I would have one condition, though. Being that we are in the current circumstances of the world and we are streaming this, I would ask those that have been online and seen this in its entirety to vote. Those who came in late, only if you have knowledge of it or if you've seen a major portion of it, to cast your vote. Otherwise, it would not be fair.
Respectable choice, Your Honor.
And we can
So first,
move forward.
thank you, Your Honor. Madam Clerk, if you would please submit the poll to the jury. Let's begin with charge 1, which is stalking in the 4th degree. Please cast your votes in the chat. And while chat is taking care of the voting procedure, I would simply like to read these obscure little things called a super chats. Just Laura says, please, Your Honor, accept this bribe.
I don't accept bribes.
I do, so please leave him in the cash box before you leave the courtroom today.
Probably not something you want to tell me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to use my inside voice. Did I use my outside voice again, Your Honor?
We're using the outside voice again. We had this conversation yesterday. We're not after the Elaine thing. You know,
Mulligan.
this gray streak over here is getting worse. We had a conversation about that too.
Mulligan, Your Honor, please strike that from the record and
You're
delete
gonna
that
pull a
off the
mulligan?
YouTubes.
You're
Yes,
gonna pull a
please.
mulligan. Okay.
I don't know about that, Your Honor.
About the 17th time I'm doing it this week. I know. But I'm a moralist prosecutor, so it kind of comes with the territory.
I have no comment. Let's just keep up with your super chatty thingies.
Thank you, Jenny Norland, for becoming a member of this YouTube channel. And Jennifer Coote says, please tell me Guy has court-appointed advocate and that therapy animals are present and available to anyone who might need them.
No,
He is left stranded. Thank you, Anna.
he's got family at home. They can help him.
Is it the sister I missed her?
I believe that's one of them.
Or brother, your mother?
I think you mean brother from another mother.
Is that what the saying goes? I thought there was the brother mother.
Well, you have your phrase and I have mine.
Well, I'm from Kentucky. That is why I ask.
You're from Kentucky, born and raised?
Not born, but might as well be. With this
Okay.
accent I got going on.
I lost my accent, so we're good.
Rainman YYC says both charges have no legitimate purpose. Offering a failed and unemployed inventor free food is a legitimate purpose. All right, we're going to give the poll here just a few more moments before we address them. I'm wondering how I'm going to be able to publish said poll. Oh, I have an idea.
Okay, the fly's back.
Oh, no. Oh, here we go. This is perfect. Not the fly. So, the results are as follows. As to charge 1, stalking in the 4th degree, Sam I Am is beyond a reasonable doubt. Out of 90 people who have voted, 62% said he is guilty, and 38% said he is not guilty. Now, let us move on to charge 2. Madam Clerk, if you would please poll the jury as to charge 2, harassment in the 2nd degree. Sam I Am is beyond a reasonable doubt, guilty or not guilty. Please vote on the new poll.
Now, while they're voting, do you eat green eggs and ham?
I have not tried them on any occasion, Your Honor. Half of that dish is religiously unavailable to me.
Okay. How about the defense?
What? Oh, have I ever tried green eggs and ham?
Yes, ma'am.
I have. They're delicious.
Are they really green, or do you just add food coloring?
They're really green. From green chickens, actually.
Green chickens? You
Yeah,
must be some kind of mad scientist. Do you
I do. I breed green
Good.
chickens.
green chickens in a lab?
Yeah,
And okay, and they just pop out green eggs?
they pop out green. Also
Okay.
green pigs, so
Pigs in a lab too, as instead of pigs in a blanket.
yes.
Okay, and that okay. Scrumptious. Scrumdiddlyumptious.
Thank you.
It's no surprise that the defense partakes in those things. That is why they're representing their
now.
client.
Now.
I object on this whole line of interaction, Your Honor. It is
No.
wholly inappropriate in a court of law.
Why? You answered the same question.
That is correct. I apologize.
Forgiven. Now, defense, do you have to add any type of hot sauce to those eggs?
Hot sauce. I do not add hot sauce to my eggs, no.
Well, I figured you concoct some green sauce to put on top of it.
No, I'm a no sauce girl with my eggs.
No,
I think
no,
they speak for themselves. They don't need any sauce.
no green cranberries to go with the ham.
I've always been one for simplicity.
Green eggs and ham are not simplicit. If you're
They're just green. It's a normal meal.
brewing them up in a lab, that
I'm
takes
sorry, am
thought.
I on trial here?
No, I'm just curious. That takes
Oh,
thought. It takes equation. It takes mathematics and science and.
Your Honor, permission to call the defense to the witness stand to testify. The prosecution would like to bring charges of insanity against the defense.
You already rested your case. Sorry.
No, Your Honor, brand new case.
Well, then file the appropriate paperwork and we can move
Are you
forward.
gonna make me do all that extra paperwork? Can we just not wing it here for once, Your Honor?
We winged it last week.
I'm trying to be as immoral today as I possibly can, and you are not permitting
I'm
me
not.
the opportunity.
See, no, you winged it last week with another one. We're not doing that today.
We're not supposed to be talking about that one, Your Honor. They're rotting away in prison.
And you
I don't
weren't
want them
supposed to say
released.
anything about our dinner. Oh, my bad.
All right. I'm surprised the defense has not moved for a mistrial 7 times over.
We've already rested.
I know. It's phenomenal, isn't it? Don't you just love the legal system?
Love it.
Do we absolutely do?
All right. I believe we have the results of this charge. Madam Clerk says, as to charge 2, harassment in the 2nd degree, Semi-Am is beyond a reasonable doubt of pretty much the exact same result of 1% off. Guilty say 61% and 39% say not guilty. So, Your Honor, at this juncture, I would like to move to the sentencing phase on both charges against Semi-Am.
And what recommendations do you have?
If you may provide me just a moment, Your Honor.
Of course. I mean, I have them here, but I'd like to hear your recommendation.
So I will keep this as brief as I possibly can. First of all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I would like to thank you for your service here today and for finding Mr. Semi-Am guilty of both charges of harassment in the second degree and stalking in the fourth degree. First, let's talk about charge 1, which is a Class B misdemeanor in the state of New York, where these charges have been brought, because that's where the publishing company is located. And under New York law, Mr. Sam I Am, since you have found him guilty, you now have to decide, I believe, 2 things, if you may give me just a moment, Yana. First and foremost, your job now, having found him guilty of charge 1, the misdemeanor, you may find his sentence to be not less than 15 days, but not more than 3 months imprisonment, or 1 year probation and a $500 fine. So we are going to make this poll in 2 sections. Having found him guilty, this is only charge 1, which is stalking in the fourth degree. So as to stalking in the fourth degree, having found him guilty, we sentence Mr. Sam I Am to, and you will have several options. You will have 4 options to choose from. The minimum, which is 15 days. The maximum, which is 3 months. 30 days, and let's call it 2 months. So 15 days, 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. You cannot find him, you cannot sentence him for less than 15 days pursuant to the statute in New York. Please cast your votes in the chat now.
If I may ask a question,
Yes,
is this not a criminal trial?
this is a criminal trial.
In a criminal trial, doesn't the jury's verdict have to be unanimous?
Yana,
I believe it does.
are we not moving forward to the penalty phase then?
What are you getting at, the defense?
It's a criminal trial. The jury verdict has to be unanimous, and it wasn't.
You're getting this information from where?
That it has to be unanimous?
Would you like to poll the jury?
Would I like to poll the jury?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we already polled.
Would you like
Oh,
each
would
juror
we like to
to?
poll the jury if it should be unanimous?
Would you like to take the time to do that?
I mean, we could. It's the law, but if you find that necessary, then.
I don't really find it necessary. I think we got what we needed. The majority speaks.
All right.
But good try.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I believe co-counsel is yelling some wild obscenities, and we should all simply ignore them as they are completely irrelevant to the process. We need to allow the legal process to continue, and I object to any interference from the public.
Is it in reference to my ruling? Because I will say this, had it been closer to 50%, I might have considered the defense's request.
Any request to halt proceedings shall be objected feverishly by the amoral and unreasonable prosecution.
Meaning you'd appeal it?
Well, no, she's welcome to appeal it. I'm not going to touch it. We won.
That's what I mean. She'd appeal it.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of ruckus in this house.
Clearly. It's okay. There's a fly in the room.
Oh, it is back. I thought we captured it and cooked it for dinner.
Well, I thought I got it, but blended it and might have just blended in with my robe. But that's okay. He'll get caught. Don't worry. I don't like little critters running around in my house.
Welcome to California, Larry, says the mad scientist. All right, let us take a look at the poll, shall we? Which I find to be wholly constitutional, as I am completely unbiased. That is a outright lie, just for the record.
For the record. Okay.
Just for the record, yes.
Okay. You okay there?
So, yes. As to stalking in the 4th degree, we, the jury, sentence Mr. Sam I Am to 15 days imprisonment. So Mr. Sam I Am will be walking away with the absolute bare minimum. And I respect the decision of the jury. I think you arrived at the correct decision. And finally, we have to... Oh, I apologize. There's one more. So there's two more. So now you have to determine as to charge 1, stalking, now that you've determined the jail time, what shall be his fine? You may decide anywhere between $0 all the way up to $100. So the options shall be, Madam Clerk, please publish them to the jury. $0, $100, $300, or the maximum $500 fine. Please cast your votes in the poll that is now available on the right side of your screen. Mad Scientist believes that Mr. Guy Amai should pledge $6 million to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
Is there anything synonymous to go with that?
No, Your Honor, I'm just talking out of my ass at the moment.
As usual. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. No, it's a Tuesday. What difference does it make?
Oh, that's right. Tuesday's talk out of your ass day. I forgot.
Yeah, that's right, Your Honor.
My
How
bad.
could you forget?
I have a lot on my plate.
Rainman YYC says, objection. Probation was an option not offered to the jury, and he would like to preserve the issue for appeal. That is correct, as a matter of fact. And I apologize. We are going to need to repoll the jury. That is my clerk's mistake, and I will make sure to admonish her in the future.
How many times have you had to do that?
I apologize, Your Honor. I'm going to have to burn my clerk at the stake.
Well, we don't need another Salem witch trial going on, but
we could have a Sam-I-Am witch trial. I don't know. I just love my job so much. I'm happy to put this motherfucker on the stand as many times as I have to.
You do what you need to do, and I'll be here for you, but call me Elaine one more time, we'll have problems.
That is fair, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's only because you failed to turn on your mic. I was having flashbacks to some trial I heard about.
One time. and I didn't have a client sitting next to me to turn it on for me.
Yeah, you have to push the button, and then
Yeah.
the microphone is available.
Sorry, I was trying to hide my tattoos. My bad.
Oh, I didn't know your Anna had tattoos.
Anna's tatted up.
All right. The results of the poll, as far as the fine is concerned, is as follows. The jury has voted by a majority vote that there should be $0 paid by Sam I Am to the court. So his fine is $0. All right, and I apologize as the objection has so aptly been put by defense's co-counsel, and I apologize on behalf of my clerk. We will have to repoll the sentence, which was 15 days. However, there is one other option which has not been offered to the jury, and that is 1 year probation. So we will have the options as follows: 1 year probation, the 15 days, 2 months, or excuse me, well, let's do 1.5 months, 1.5 months, or 3 months. Please cast your votes after, Madam Clerk, you publish a repoll to the jury. And once again, I apologize on behalf of my clerk.
That's okay. Would like to play with your hair again, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, thank you. And I almost forgot that I had the hair still.
Really? I'm older than you are, and your hair looks just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little matted down. Perhaps I've been not using shampoo for the last 7 months. That might cause the problem.
I'm gonna recommend that you use some shampoo and conditioner.
I heard of this magical contraption called a Pantene Pro V, but I have never actually used it in practice.
It works very well.
Does it now? I don't know. I kind of like my hair. Like, you know, those Lego sets where they have the Lego hair. I kind of like my hair to be kind of like that, very matted down and plasticky.
Well, then go like this to your hair right now, and let's see how it looks. No. Run your fingers through your hair. Bring it up. Fingers through the hair, not on top of the hair. Bring it up. Nice eyebrow. Okay. Like this.
Is that? Am I doing that correct? I apologize. I don't.
Are you watching? Okay.
Yes.
This. Go like this. And then bring the hair up. Men. Okay. Never mind.
I apologize, Your Honor. I have no experience with hair.
Clearly. It does have a nice salt and pepper look to it, though, so I'll give you a pass.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, the jury has voted, and that is the new result. So the 15-day sentence is wholly vacated by a majority vote. I am extremely disappointed, as I wanted to see that piece of crap rot in prison for 15 whole days. However, it appears that the jury has reached a unanimous majority, vote of 1 year probation. Therefore, 1 year probation plus a $500 fine as to charge 1, stalking in the 4th degree. And last but not least, the jury has to vote. This is the final poll. As to harassment in the 2nd degree, you may recall, and allow me to, or actually, I don't believe we have covered this yet. You may have seen it on your screen, but I have not made mention of it. So allow me to very, very quickly go over the penalty section of the law. The maximum penalty for charge 2 of violate, which is a violation in New York, is imprisonment up to 15 days. And since it's a violation and not a crime, the previous charge has been a crime, this is a violation, you may sentence Mr. Sam-I-Am up to 15 days in the county jail, the New York jail. So, with that in mind, since 15 days is the maximum on charge 2, the options shall be 0 days, 5 days, 10 days, or 15 days. Is that fair with the defense?
Yes.
Is there any fine that would be attributed to that?
There is no fine. There are no fines for violations in New York, Your Honor.
Just making sure you're on your toes this time.
So as to harassment, thank you, Your Honor. As to harassment in the second degree, we sentence Mr. Sam-I-Am to, Madam Clerk, would you please poll the jury, 0 days, 5 days, 10 days, or 15 days. This is as to charge 2, harassment. I do not know who this Rain Man is, but he continues to interfere very unscrupulously with this trial, asking the court to make sure that time served is an option if Sam-I-Am is to be found sentenced to, to any time in jail.
I think Rain Man can stand down for a moment. He might have
Well, hello there, the Gala sisters. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
You're good.
Thank you very much, Ivan Tchaikovsky, for the donation to the channel. Thank you very much.
Nice catch there.
I almost slipped up once again.
And I will make one correction. It's Tchaikovsky.
Is that what that is?
It is Tchaikovsky.
Do you
listen to classical music?
Tchaikovsky. I've heard of this guy named Wolfgang Mozarti one time, but that's about it.
That Kentucky accent of yours just gets you every time.
Every time, Your Honor.
See, the defense she's on the ball.
I need to pick my opponents better, Your Honor.
I don't think you get to pick your opponents.
One can try.
One can try, but it's luck of the draw.
Well, hopefully, if the insanity prosecution of the defense counsel will go forward next week, we may be able to get rid of at least one opponent.
As I said, file the paperwork.
I shall, Your Honor. I cannot wait. It'll be a glorious day in the courthouse.
Nor can I. I'm sure it'll be on my desk within a week.
I hope I don't get... yes, I hope Your Honor is the one, the judge to preside over that case.
With my luck, yes. It'll be on my desk and I'll have no rest.
More interference from the audience. This is a total mistrial, says Hillary G., as the defense has won. It was not unanimous, running contrary to the ruling of the court. So, objection denied by the prosecution.
Appeal process is always available.
That is correct.
I will say, I'm very surprised you didn't bring forth other charges.
Such as, Your Honor?
That I won't say.
Fair enough.
That would be leading you to do so, and I can't do that.
Well, double jeopardy at this juncture applies, so you are free to speak as it will not affect the case.
Mm-hmm. No, that is for you to decide, not me.
We were contemplating charges of kidnapping and attempted murder. However, I did not believe that the facts merited such heinous charges, and the prosecution likes to win. And so far, Sam-I-Am is being sentenced to 1 year probation with a $500 fine as we await the final results of the second charge.
How about property damage?
property damage would have been another one. That is correct. The prosecution is not very intelligent, therefore we did not bring those charges.
And did this person have insurance? A bodily injury?
You need to stop asking so many reasonable questions. I am an unreasonable and no scruples, amoral prosecutor. Your Honor, will you please allow me to do my job as I see it not fit?
But then I have a question for the defense, because then if he didn't have insurance, she could possibly have brought forth the uninsured or underinsured motorist
Could have.
claims.
Oh, my apologies. It was a $0 fine. I misspoke. That is correct. 1 year probation, $0 fine so far. Mr. Rain Man. And so your name is very aptly put, by the way. I remember that movie with Tom Cruise. Is that what you're referring to? Are you, what is the name of Dustin Hoffman's
Dustin
character
Hoffman.
in Rain Man? I submit, he says, that it is the duty to interfere with prosecutorial misconduct and violations of constitutional rights. Yeah, that is all well and cute. We don't follow that in this courtroom.
How many
believe so.
toothpicks did he have, Rain Man?
All right, with the final poll, we have the following result. As to charge 2, harassment, we, the jury, sentence Sam I Am to 0 days in the county jail. So speak the jury. Well, that is it, I believe, folks. That concludes our trial. And just for the record, if Your Honor would allow me one final moment, Sam I Am has been found guilty of both charges and sentenced to a total of 1 year probation and a $0 fine. Is that correct, Your Honor? Am I missing anything?
I don't believe you're missing anything. Would you agree, defense?
The defense counsel?
I still think this is a load of malarkey, but yes.
Well,
That is
you know,
fair of you to say, but we are not
Can't
listening.
win them all.
Too bad, so sad, sucker, I believe they say.
Next time, bring it on stronger, girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, Sam I Am has been found guilty, perhaps not unanimously, but this is not a real courtroom. So by majority vote, he has been found guilty of both charges, harassment in the 2nd degree and the crime of stalking in the 4th degree. And Sam I Am has been sentenced to a total of 1 year probation and a $0 fine with no jail time. Your Honor, I would like to ask the court to impose the sentence, if the defense has no objection at this juncture, to impose sentence on Mr. Sam I Am today.
Defense?
I suppose I have no objection.
You suppose?
I have no objection, Your Honor.
Are you sure about that now?
Yes.
Are you planning on appealing or?
No.
100% not going to appeal.
I may appeal.
So then you're not sure.
I'm not sure. You're correct. No, I'm sure.
Miss Defense, we did this last week too, remember? I don't think you are.
Okay, I'm sure. No objection, Your Honor.
No objections, no appeals. I will not see an appeal on my desk next week.
Correct.
Okay, then I will grant you that, Mr. Prosecutor.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Will probation and parole please escort Sam I Am to take care of the necessary paperwork so that he may be placed on informal probation? I don't think formal probation is necessary, Your Honor. We'll just keep a close eye on Mr. Sam I Am, and I think if he commits no further violations of the law, the prosecution is satisfied.
I will agree. Until it comes to my desk again.
Ivan, is it Tchaikovsky once again? Am I pronouncing that
Oh,
correctly?
dear Lord, Mr. Kentucky. It's Tchaikovsky.
My mouth does not turn that way. I don't know how to pronounce it with my tongue. If it pleases the court, I posit a restraining order to be made to run concurrent with Sam I Am's probation time.
I bet
Motion
your
has
evil
been
twin
made
could
by one of the
pronounce it.
jurors. A
I bet
motion
your
has been made by one of the jurors, Your Honor. I don't know what to do. I've never seen such conduct before by the jury.
a restraining order. I will actually agree with that. We do need to impose a restraining order so this doesn't happen again. And that restraining order should be for a minimum of 6 months. So will you have your Madam Clerk draw that up as well?
I will do that, Your Honor.
I believe this is jury misconduct, Your Honor.
Are you going to
The
appeal
jury has spoken, Your Honor. I think that this is a mock trial courtroom, and therefore pretty much anything fucking goes. Therefore, I agree. I agree with the jury, and the restraining order stands. I agree with Your Honor. I am now officially the judge. This is the end of this trial. We have won, and this is concluding the first mock trial of many. I have taken over the courtroom. Have a blessed rest of your day, everybody. And thank you very much to all of my lovely witnesses. I don't know if my boat captain is still there. You guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you all for participating.
You're welcome. It was very fun.
Very fun.
I commandeered the ship for a moment. I figured it's only fair.
Well, it is your show.
I mean, but still, it's just this was as much your show as it was mine. If you've noticed, I think without you
I
all,
tried.
this literally would be completely impossible.
I tried to be a bitch. I mean,
You did great. I don't know if you were acting or if that was just natural.
No, I'm really a bitch, but when called for, I am really nice, but I am a bitch too.
When in Rome, I'm greeted by a furry friend. I think the house has unleashed an animal upon me in
Mine's
order
right
to,
here.
to
Mine's right
distract
here.
me to distract me from my abilities, which is totally fine. I understand. Sore losers will tend to do such crazy antics, and such is life. This is how it goes. I don't know why I brought the accent back, by the way.
You
I
stole
got
my damn
so into
accent, by the way.
character, I forgot to click. Huh?
You stole my accent.
Were you gonna do a southern accent too?
Yes, I was.
You should have.
You stole it. You just.
We could have both been southern.
Eh. I'm more bitchy when I'm non-southern.
It sucks that the boat captain is not here. I wanted
No.
to see Sam, but it's okay.
I brought out the Viking in me.
You did. You certainly did. The fly was a nice addition. I like that. And
The
I
allergies
tried
are
to
real.
I tried to make as much collusion between the prosecution and the judge as I could. Like I tried to cross as many boundaries that I'm not supposed to cross. Let me tell you, being a prosecutor, I've never practiced in the real world. I've never practiced as a prosecutor. I've always been a defense attorney. And let me tell you, the power that I feel, I swear to God, it is unparalleled. Now I'm starting to understand why prosecutors act the way that they do. Because I'm pretty much anything I say, for the most part, seems like it goes. Because it's like the law is on my side, and the defense is kind of like, will you please fucking stop all this nonsense? And we're just like, nah. It's not much different from the real world. That's the scary part.
True.
Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Hey, Sam. I was hoping you'd pop in.
Did she hear all the antics though?
Yeah, I was listening.
You did fantastic.
Thank you.
Like literally 2 thumbs up. And I heard, I don't know if it was like your friend or whoever in the background cracking up. That was just like a little extra. icing on top of the cake, because I'm just like listening to you testify, right? And then all of a sudden I hear like in the back, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is glorious.
Who was yelling earlier?
So I'm because I'm in Los Angeles doing this. This was, again, none of this was really like planned ahead of time, other than the actual mock trial.
I'm sorry,
I'm in
it's
Los
hot.
Angeles. No, you're fine. Hillary, it was her idea, and Hillary is Emery's mother, as a matter of fact. And Hillary invited me into her abode so graciously, because my unit is very, very small and doesn't have as much space to do all this stuff that I need to do, and the terrible lighting and everything. That's why I did the stream yesterday. I did the stream outside, but today it's raining, and so Hillary invited me graciously into their home so that I can completely crush their daughter in a mock trial, and I successfully did so.
So that was my father screaming at the verdict.
Oh my
And that was her dad. So they're both home. All three of them, like all four of us, are in the same home. Emery,
Oh my
myself, her mom, and her dad. And after they provided me with coffee and the hospitality, I decided to completely not reciprocate.
Well, if I was there, I was born and raised
As
in California, so
As an amoral prosecutor, I have to. It comes with the job. I'm sorry, not sorry. And Judge, we're going to dinner, right? So that I can
Papa Do's. Make sure you're
have some
you're
more
over here.
improper influence. I mean, that's the way it goes, right?
Hey, this trial's over. What we do on our own time is our own business.
Oh no! In character. The judge and the
What we
prosecutor.
do on our own time is our business.
You guys did fantastic, every single one of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sam. Thank you,
Thank you.
Emery. Thank you. Do you want me to call you by your name, Wolf?
You can.
or-
It's fine.
I just didn't want to throw it out there because
I don't care.
Doc, Michelle, and this weirdo. Thank you, everybody. This was fantastic. It would not be possible without you. Thank you for volunteering your time.
Thank you. It was very fun.
We'll definitely. This is to the chat. We will definitely be doing it again with the same people, different people. It's all up in the air. I'm going to try and get another one going within the next 10 days or so. I don't know if we're going to have enough time for it, but I'm definitely going to try. And if we get volunteers, the next fairy tale, again, I don't even know what it's going to be. We have tons of options. Some even volunteered. Some people even suggested that we do like characters outside of fairy tales, like Harry Potter, or I guess you could do Game of Thrones. You could do literally anything. You can put any character in any fictional story or real story on trial for any charges that seem reasonable. It could be civil, it could be criminal. So if you have any suggestions, please comment them below. Thank you, chat, for being such an awesome jury. Without you, again, this would not be possible. It would just be left hanging. So thank you for voting. Sorry, Emery, that it wasn't unanimous. You're free. You're not free to appeal anymore. You waived your right to appeal. So I appreciate that. I will take the
figured the sentence was pretty not too harsh. So
That's what I'm saying. Probation.
0 days, $0.
Yeah, and to be this is completely off topic, but relevant to what happened here. In my experience, in my real trials, juries seem and tend to reach results that are very reasonable and almost always commensurate with the charges. Like, I don't think I've ever had a case, even where I lost, where I would go, oh my God, I can't believe the jury reached that verdict, like that decision. It was always like, well, that kind of makes sense why they went that direction, or makes sense why they acquitted, or makes sense why they, because I can't tell you how many times I have lost, but it's still a win because number one, we either beat the prosecution's offer, or number two, which is a win in and of itself, or number two, sometimes jurors convict and give 0 jail time because they're like, yeah, he or she did it, but they don't deserve a punishment. We just can't say that they didn't do it. That's the only thing that they can't say, which is quite remarkable. And that's literally what happened. This is a classic case where everyone's like, oh my God, hell yes, Sam is an asshole and he shouldn't have harassed him this way, but are we going to lock him up? because he was and thank you chat for correcting me because I totally forgot about the 1 year probation. So thank you for catching that. I really it's hard to I'm multitasking with so many things right now. I mean my clerk, whatever. Um, so the 1 year probation with no fine makes complete sense given the facts if you think about it, because at the end of the day, what did Sam really do? He was annoying as hell. Is he guilty? 100%. But should he be going away for like 2 weeks? No, no. Should he be paying for it? Even the jury said they were very close. They were so close. There was like splitting hairs. I think if you go back, you will see um, the the split between 0 days and 15 days on charge two. Nobody voted 5, 10, almost 5 days, 10 days. But the vote between 0 days and 10 days was literally like on a hair's, like splitting hairs, because it was like 38, 32 or something like that. So they were very close to like wanted to lock him up to the maximum on the second charge. And that is also very commensurate with real trials. Like sometimes when I have a jury trial and there's like DUI, reckless driving, careless driving, whatever, sometimes they'll acquit on the DUI, but they'll convict on the reckless driving and max out the fine because there's no jail time. I'm telling you, this mock trial it was just for fun for everybody, but this is also a very real testament to how the real world operates, because I see direct parallels between my trials and what happened here today, just for the record. So, and then for the next time, by the way, and here's the problem with having unanimity. All it takes is one troll, by the way, one troll to vote not guilty, and that's it. And now you have, let's say 1,000 people say guilty and one person say not guilty, and what is that? No longer unanimous. That's why for the future, and I'm glad you brought it up because we're going to learn as we go, as we do these mock trials. I believe having a majority vote rather than a unanimity vote, which totally violates every precept of the Constitution, no question about it. That I will admit to openly, obviously. It's like Title IX. I mean, we're not going to get into it. But having a majority vote simply simplifies it for the fact of the poll.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is get 51% of the people to say not guilty and you win. That's the beauty. I think it's still a fairly easy, not easy, but fairly doable, I should say, bar to overcome. So,
Oh, Tchaikovsky's here.
is that how you pronounce it?
Tchaikovsky.
I know, I'm joking. Ivan Tchaikovsky says, the Wicked Queen from Snow White is my suggestion for the next one. The charges are conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, petty larceny, and others. And that's right, Rain Man. I think that's her dad. I'm pretty sure it's Emery's dad, but I could be wrong.
Green Man?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know. It's a total guess based on the the way, like the yeah. That's him. Yeah. Juries are made up of people just like us, only we're better informed.
There you go.
So, all right, you guys. I won't keep you.
There's all kinds of ideas in the chat.
Oh, he said wrong. Okay, never mind. Maybe, probably. I don't care. Thank you guys again so much. Thank you, chat. Thank you to Michelle. Thank you to Sam. Thank you to Emery. It's been so much fun, and we'll definitely do this again.
All right. Thank you.
And thank
Let's wave
you.
goodbye to everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.